Hi, welcome back to another video. My name is Tyler. You can call me Ty.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into some serious history surrounding one of the biggest names in hip-hop, Sean Diddy Combs, the man behind Bad Boy Records. Now I originally planned to start this video with a full breakdown of Diddy's life story, his birth, upbringing, parents, the whole 9 yards. But let's be honest, that's not why you're here, right? You want the juicy details, the controversies, the lawsuits, the allegations that have rocked his career and his label over the years. So let's cut to the chase. In this video, we're getting into the real story, the stuff that makes headlines and keeps people talking. From the early days of Bad Boy Records to the legal battles that have followed Diddy throughout his career, we're going to break it all down. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. All right, let's dive in.
Basically, today's question is, did he do it or did he not? Did he do it or did he not? Of course he did. That was just for fun. I'm sorry. I had to, okay? I had to. If you're not aware, majority, if not all of the accusations made against Diddy consist of assault and abuse towards male and female individuals. So I will be putting a disclaimer right now, warning, and I'm gonna have to read this. Please do not proceed with viewing this video if you are sensitive to any of the following, such as sexual assault, physical assault, mental and emotional distress, discussing the characteristics, the embodiment of narcissistic personality disorders, and everything in between. You have been warned. Please proceed with caution. Thank you and enjoy the video. So Sean began pushing his foot through the music industry's door by gaining an internship position at Uptown Records label in his last year at Howard University in the year 1989. That's when he started working there. This means Sean was only 19 years old when he started gaining traction in the music industry. But what started him and helped him take off was in the year 2001, Sean had officially adopted the stage name Diddy, right? So we start there. Diddy eventually launched his own record label called Bad Boy Records in 1993. His record label was behind the production of famous artists, which launched his career even further, such as the notorious b.i.g, Biggie Smalls, including artists like Faith Evans, Maze, 112, and Total. Well, that is how Diddy started getting his recognition, his fame. He just got an internship, had the networking and connection to eventually graduate to having his own record label, knowing how to run the thing because he just saw how someone else did it, and just started signing people under his record label just to start pumping out content, start making money, royalties, etc., etc. It's never been a secret. Like I've found articles dating all the way back into 2001, 2010, I believe, where there are even, because articles were such a big thing, that's how people got their news. There wasn't Instagram, Facebook, social media, right? Like let's get back into that time where the like Blackberries had just become a thing in the 2000s and social media came later, right? So before, you just had articles, live interviews on radio stations. You had radio stations pumping out articles from their interviews, recapping what was asked, what did the celebrity say in response, yada yada. There was some articles I found back then before 2020, in the 2000s, before 2010. Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, was recognized heavily for burned artists, for failed artists. They would say something like, don't sign with Diddy unless you want to get burned, and it was really no secret. And so what I'm about to tell you, what we're about to go through, it has already been out there. I just don't think enough attention was brought to it. And I also have enough suspicion to believe that Diddy paid sources and, entities related to him and his label, his brand, to assist him in hiding a lot and silencing a lot of these things that we're about to go through right now. And we'll get more into that as well. Craig Mack was the first artist signed to Bad Boy Records, right? He released a gold debut album called Project Funk the World, best known for his hit single in 1994, though, Flavor in Your Ear.
I'm kicking new flavor in your ear, like brand new flavor in your ear. Craig Mack, 1,000 degrees. You'll be on your knees and you'll be burning, begging, please. Brother freeze, man's undisputed and deep-rooted. Folks smoke to leave your brains booted.
Craig Mack had heavy criticism against his appearance. No one has been named in particular within the industry, but he got a lot of beef for looking ugly. People who called him ugly are the ugly ones. I mean, look at this guy. He don't look bad. He looked like a good looking man. Like I wouldn't kick him out of bed. Like people are just fucking mean. He kind of was like looked at, I don't want to say coined, but because of that, he was like a living example that the hip hop industry would set these unrealistic standards of how artists should appear to dress or look or be or act to appease the brand, the label, or what everyone else is doing. Like branching out and doing something different wasn't like aesthetic wise, I guess you could say, wasn't like encouraged like it is now. Like now every single rap artist got their own style and their own individuality. And people encourage it, I would say, more than they did back then. Craig Mack rapped under the alias MC Easy before he entered mainstream media with his music. Diddy and Mack met through mutual connections within the music industry, and Mack was described to be this underground rapper within the New York hip hop scene who had a unique voice and an energetic style. He was signed to Bad Boy Records in 1994 to 1995 and for a short period of time in 2005 for a reunion project amongst him and a couple other artists that used to work with the label or were associated with the label in some way. Craig Mack got signed to the label, and this was like a dream come true for him. He was like super stoked for this. Why wouldn't you be? You're making it in the industry that you've been dreaming to live out, right? It wasn't as good as Craig Mack thought it was going to be.
God bless everybody out there.
True.
Cool. So, like, Puffy, what's coming up in the immediate future for the Bad Boy?
I love this question.
We got Big's wife dropping.
No
Big.
doubt.
Evans
doubt.
Wallace, she's dropping.
Soon.
We also have some B-sides and some other different projects. We have Big's new album that's gonna be dropping in like September, Life After Death.
And
I want to congratulate Craig Mack on his Grammy nomination.
No question.
Yes, baby, yes.
Cool, that's cool, and I'm sure you got much things in store for my man
Yeah,
here.
definitely. We got a new album we're working on him to drop in January. Besides that, we about to just drop our R&B stuff.
The Puff Daddy album.
We're gonna.
Yeah, what about the Puff Daddy solo project?
Yeah, we don't like to talk about
Hey,
that
Puffy,
too
you
much.
know
We're
what
gonna go
Jack
to the
is
next
giving us
video.
that single,
We're gonna
yo.
go to the next video.
In 1995, Mack decided that he wanted to move on from the label, and the process was not as easy as you would think. He faced legal battles to be released from his contract with Bad Boy Records, obviously Diddy, and was officially released from his contract in early 1997. He filed in 1995. The reason why he filed was because he felt neglected by the label. The label was not paying him. Everything he put in, nothing produced out of it. At least he didn't see any of the money that came from his performances, from his sales, like CDs, albums, all that. Nothing. He saw nothing. And in 2005, because he gets questioned a lot, if he left in 1997, why was he re-signed for a short period of time in 2005? It's because in 2005 he only came back to Bad Boy Records for a union project that included other seasoned artists for Bad Boy Records' 10th anniversary. And Craig Mack states more than numerous times that he came back for the fans. He didn't come back for Diddy. What was really sucky about that even is that when he did return, Diddy kind of strung him along and started talking to him about making other projects and tracks and songs, and Mack was interested.
I got with somebody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say their names, I'm just gonna say somebody that wanted to do another album with me. So I said, cool, I gave him my price, and the price to me was low, and they were supposed to give me the money. And I go in the studio and I start banging out. So it came to me and was like, yo, I can only cut you a third of the money I'm supposed to give you. I said, you know what, man, I wanna do these songs. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do this and that, the third, let's do it. You give me the money as we go. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a third again. I'll take a third again when we finish the actual recording of the album. Nothing happened, no money. So I stopped recording. I said, I'm not gonna be an idiot and sit here and do all this stuff for everybody, and I'm not gonna see anything from it. Next thing I know, money comes, with this bullish mafia mentality with him and his goons and all that stuff like that. Talking about, yo, you owe us an album. And I'm like, excuse my friends, but I don't owe you shit. You owe me money. You know what I'm saying? So if you come up with the rest of the dough, then we can come up with the rest of the album. No dough, no records. That's it. I don't think you know what you mean when you say that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what type of dude I am. You know what kind of muscle I got. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you need to be in the studio. So I said, all right, meet me up there at 7 o'clock. And I went and got one of my gunmen. My man, I'm not going to mention his name either. He came with me up there. Okay? And they saw him, and they fell back because they was going to do something to me. But they didn't. So we talked about it, came to definite, look, no cash, no record. I'm not going to be sitting here going in the studio all night, every night, busting my ass, and I ain't seeing nothing from it. And you're making me feel like, even if you did have the rest of that cash, us taking it to the next level is going to be a problem because there's going to be money problems. I can see it already. So I caught a couple of threats, a couple of, passers-by in the street and everything else. I caught a couple of threats.
I'm always curious, like, where the artists end up in nowadays when I'm talking about them, or just when I'm discussing anybody. Even in my true crime stories, I talk about victims, and if there's any survivors, like to see where they're at in the present day if possible. And Mack is up in heaven. Um, he passed away on March 12th in 2018 at the age of 47 due to heart failure. He lived in Walterboro, Southern Carolina, goodness gracious, and stepped away from the music industry completely and chose to join a ministry led by a controversial figure named Ralph Gordon Stair, Brother Stair. But yeah, he's up there smoking a fat one with other hip hop legends if he's into that. Oh, another one was the band or the group Total that signed with Bad Boy Records from 1995 to 2000. The group consisted of three female members: Kima, Keisha, and Pam. They were discovered by Diddy as backup singers for a band called the Wascals. The Wascals. Sorry, I can't. The Wascals. I had a mic like right here, and I went up to this one. I can't with myself sometimes. Total was featured on b.i.g.'s single called Juicy in 1994 before signing with Bad Boy Records. They signed to them in 1995.
And if you don't know, now you know, nigga. And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.
In the same year, Total released their debut single, Can't You See, featuring Biggie Smalls, the notorious b.i.g. In 1998, Total would release their second and last album with the record label. Again, specifics of the situation are not given, and majority of this is taking place during a time where social media wasn't a thing and people didn't necessarily come with receipts or document things or didn't have ways of documenting things. Now you can record on your phone like a video or an audio recording and be more discreet to prove these kinds of things, but back then they had nothing. So from what was said by the band, they said that they had disbanded in the early 2000s, even though their contract ended in 2001, because they were dealing with creative differences, financial disputes, and management conflicts with the Bad Boy record label. And this unfortunately was not unique to Total, but was a normal experience for most artists under Bad Boy Records. And I didn't want to point it out early on, but you guys are starting to see a pattern, I would think, second person to want to get out of their contract and sue Bad Boy Records for improper compensation, issues with management, people that are looking over them, and also creative differences. Like, they're trying to take control of these artists and paint them in the image that they want for the label, not what the artist branding is, and going with that. So the Locks it's a band called the Locks, LOX. Consisted of artists Jadakiss, Styles P, and Chic Louch. They were well known in the local hip hop scene of New York for their gritty, street oriented lyrics. Fun fact, they initially called their group the Warlocks, but later shortened it to the Locks. So, how they, were discovered by Bad Boy Records is the group in 1990 released their first demo mixtape and gave copies to select individuals that they felt would help, you know, launch their career, maybe give them greater chances of being recognized, just connections. And one of those artists was Mary J. Blige. Love Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige was already signed to Bad Boy Records. And so instead of giving, leaving Locks high and dry, she gave the mixtape to Diddy to listen. Diddy actually ended up liking their mixtape and wanted to sign them 6 years later. From there, the group released their first debut album called Money, Power, and Respect under Bad Boy Records in January 1998. Again, similar to other artists under the label, the Locks experienced creative control from Diddy and quickly saw issues when they wanted to claim independence for their brand, like for their branding. The Lock spoke out in regards to their frustrations with the label publicly and was pushed as far as to make a movement called Free the Locks. On December 20th, 2005, there was a live interview on HOT Hot 97 Radio, specifically the Angie Martinez show or segment, I guess you could say, that they hosted on that radio station. And Diddy and the Locks spoke pretty much one-on-one. It was over the phone, but it was a very heated conversation.
For nine or say, yo, hit us with some. But yo, dog, we made one album with you. Years ago, we came in the game. We paid $3 million to get off. Close to $3 million.
I gotta pay him $300,000.
You made, Lord knows what you made off the Benjamins.
Every time I put out a solo album, he gotta get an advance of $300,000.
What kind of?
That's crazy.
How
That's
do you
what the
get
people
it?
don't see. Like, and to me, it's like, yo, come on, dog. You on MTV, VH1, $1 million parties, Sean John, Justin's, this and that. We did one album with you, dog. You Benjamins, Lord, No Way Out from the Benjamins sold something crazy. You made something crazy. You made your money back off of that. And when we came in the door, our advance was between the three of us was like 100 G's. And you charged us $3 million to let go. And you had our publishing for half of 10 years now. And we've been trying to, we've been quiet. You know, people be like, y'all wild, or y'all
So behind the scenes, you've been dealing with this for a long time.
We're on our 7th lawyer.
Is that Puffy on 11? Puffy's on 11. You want to talk to him?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Should I go now straight live, or can I get to Let's just go live.
Let's go.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up?
What's up?
I mean,
Hey, yo, check this out, man. The last time y'all did this, man, y'all did the whole campaign, let the Locks go and all that. Y'all ain't want to be down with Bad Boy, so we let y'all go. Y'all want to be down with us, we let y'all go, we keep it moving. But to get on there and portray like somebody got to go and steal and rob and be shysting y'all, that ain't really correct, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm at my office right now. I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't got to get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Dedicates, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, or any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly. You know what I'm saying? All that throwing the refrigerator and you gonna kill, y'all ain't killing nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We businessmen. We all mature adults here. All that right there, I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it. Or you can take the invitation I gave you before. But it's not even getting there because of your get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog,
I ain't your enemy. You need to bang like that on cats that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office
about killing
saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing.
Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that.
I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it then? What is it? What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call it? And don't say we can come in your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that.
We
can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
Wait, you know how we can settle?
You acting
I'm
tough.
in my office, so why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you deserve half of our publishing.
You this to my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we gonna do? Shave it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. It's not. We can't be violent. Or none of that. We can't even have.
You saying all this, dog? 2 years ago, Levels in Miami.
Let's real recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be here.
The whole National Guard's downstairs too. Cut it out, man. We can't
caught up in this. I'm a grown ass man, man.
You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief,
You're a coward.
Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a
Come
thief.
to the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out there.
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace Boom publishing.
You call me whatever you
You
want.
won't let his publishing
I'm at the
go.
office.
You don't let your man's publishing
We will
go.
argue in front of New York. That's the way you want.
Do you own your man's publishing,
Nobody
dog?
did nothing to y'all, man.
Do you own your man's publishing?
New York could believe it or whatever. I don't
Do
really
you
care,
own your
man.
man's
I know
publishing?
that I can sleep good at night because I ain't never did nothing to y'all. And if y'all ever want
Dog, you had a whole bunch of artists that
I'm
never.
here. That's it.
Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog. Be for real, dog. Look at the list.
We don't want to be violent.
You the artist that did best for yourself. Look at your list, dog. Look at all the artists you dealt with. Look at the situation they dealt with. 112 not happy with you gone. Faith not happy with you gone. We not happy with you gone. Baby's not happy with you gone.
Wow. All right, he's hung up. He's gone. He's finished.
Shine jail.
So let's recap, right? The Lock stated Diddy always made more than they did off of their own project and their own musical creations. The Locks also stated that they paid close to $3 million to break their contract and to get out, and have consulted up to 7 lawyers for the lawsuit. That's a lot of money. Given how they described their experience, it seems that Diddy is greedy and wanted more in his pocket versus taking the time to actually properly compensate the artists for their efforts. Due to these issues, the Locks were able to leave Bad Boy Records in 2000 and sign to Rough Riders, where their group was accepted and there was no P. Diddy. I discovered that they actually went on to create their own label called D Block. And at first I thought it was a jab at Diddy, because it's like his first initial is a D and it's like block, like D Block. But I discovered that it was actually in reference to a neighborhood that they all grew up in during their childhood, which I thought was really sweet. So thankfully the Locks are on to better things, but I don't know. The audio speaks for itself. Diddy sounds manipulative. And I really praise one of the members calling Diddy out by saying every artist that signed with you didn't go anywhere, something like that. That just, I could tell that really fired him up, because then he eventually hangs up on him. I don't know, if it wasn't true, it wouldn't bother you that much. So this is just a sample of some of the issues that artists had specifically with him and the label. And just to sum it up, there's so many. Like, I'm not going to go through all of them, but that's a good, just to give you some insight on how many times people had to take things to court because they couldn't get through to him in person, or they couldn't come to an agreement because he was so fickle and what he was doing was wrong. And if you look it up, a lot of these, if I can add it on the screen somewhere, whether it's a cutout or the whole screen, let me show you guys how many of these lawsuits have either been settled, have either been denied, like the person that's suing him for a rightful reason has either been denied, acquitted, or it'll say something like has been settled or came to a settlement or was settled out of court. And you'll see so many that say was settled out of court. Like, this guy offers them money. There's no doubt in my mind that someone of his status, taking all this money from these people, have paid them out a pretty penny just to shut them up so he can wave them off and move on with his life and not have to hear jab, 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 jab for me, even though he did these people wrong. So you think I'm lying? Look it up. Look it up. It's alarming. And so he has lawsuits facing him this year still. Like I think 4 or 5 lawsuits still pending this year from a couple years back. Some of them have already been acquitted, some of them have not been acknowledged, some of them have already been settled out of court. And I just feel bad because like I'm just seeing a pattern of people not getting justice. Make it make fucking sense. Mace, also known as Mason Betha, filed a formal lawsuit against the record label in 2020, and he's been open about his experiences with the label on social media, which is where he gained a lot of attention on the matter. Which I'm, especially from the public, which I'm thankful that he's able to get that attention, because as far as my research has gone, I've not been able to find any sources discussing if this legal proceeding is still ongoing as of right now or if it's been settled. Let me know if you guys have any information or where you can find that. I've tried, but it's just that's it. I couldn't really find anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lawsuits against the record label, all reflecting the same exact issues. Another artist that was signed to Bad Boy Records and was done dirty by Diddy was Black Rob. I'm gonna add some clips and let Black Rob speak for himself.
That was really feeling me, so he was like, yo, listen, I got some people I know on a lot. And I was thirsty at the time. You know, I signed some paperwork with him, you know, not knowing. I was signing a production deal, like, sign my life away with this cat. He took me to Puff. They went to Howard together. You know, like if I'd have knew Puff at that, if I'd have knew it would have boiled down to all this, you know, I should have knew better. I went up to the office, you know, it was on 18th Street. I went up there, I spit it out for Puff. I had my tape. You know, the cassettes was out, man. So all y'all dudes, man, I understand how far I'm going back. I'm going back to Mack TDK. Started rapping, you know, and he was like, yo, that's hot.
You know, dudes treat you like McDonald's fries, man, in the game sometimes, especially when you're dealing with certain people. You know, when McDonald's fries get cold, you don't want them no more. You know that, right? So that's how Bad Boy was treating dudes at that time. I always thought it was a family situation. You feel me? Like, dude told me, like, yo, listen, man, you know, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Biggie just got killed, and I don't want to do it no more. I think I can live off R&B, and I don't sing R&B. So therefore, that put me like out the whip, like you're out the whip, b.i.g, for something. So I made it clear, like, yo, listen, man, what the fuck, what I'm gonna do? So Pop was like, yo, okay, so that's when he made No Way Out. We all on the company. You know what I'm saying? He made that, and that. After that record, he definitely wanted to do hip hop because that's what took him over the top. Hip hop, not R&B.
Black Rob was signed to Bad Boy Records in 1996, and I don't have an exact date of when he broke his contract or was able to leave the record label, but it was roughly around like 2005 or 2006. Black Rob fought tooth and nail to be removed from the label and break his contract. However, Diddy's signature was to cause grief for any artist who dared to leave the label and or him.
As far as, you know, all the other people up at Bad Boy, nobody reached out to me one time. I don't even care. Because all it takes is a press of the button, Department of Corrections, you know my name, you know my birthday. I used to work here. When I heard that, you know, this nigga went seeing this nigga Wayne in jail, you ain't come see b.i.g? Like, all the years we spent together, like, that shit didn't mean nothing to you, dog? Like, you actually think I'm not your man? So that right there told me, like, yo, that nigga was never my man, ever. You got like 50 employees, man. You ain't even have to write the letter. I had got sick with the kidney shit, you know what I'm saying? And up there, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was asking me that I have insurance and all this. Yeah, I had insurance. When I was employed at Bad Boy Records, I had insurance. Oh, well, you need to call them and see what's up with that. So I calls them. My lawyer calls them, and they talking about, oh, now we took them off of that. Y'all took me off of that, so I'm supposed to get these meds and shit, man. Oh, what? All right, so now, it's like, all right, you took me off the medication shit, you took me off the insurance, okay? Now you take me off the website, you don't come see me, you don't write me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't need no money, because like I said, I'm always get money, you know what I'm saying? Like my records sell, they sold, so I'm always gonna have some type of money coming in my account or whatever. It was like they said, well, fuck that nigga, all right? Now I'm home, and I shouldn't say fuck y'all niggas. You feel me? That's funny, right? Puff wasn't the one doing the records with me. You know what I'm saying? He was just the last word. Good record. I like that. I want to get on that. It's a good record. You know, he's not in the studio 20 hours, 15 hours with me. Never. There wasn't no love over there, man.
He ended up developing diabetes, which led him to kidney failure, and the kidney failure compromised his immune system, therefore, he developed pneumonia. Black Rob was hit with all three, and that staggered his chances of survival. The media in the heart of hip hop considered Black Rob the protege of the label. In fact, Black Rob was considered Diddy's protege. When Black Rob stopped bringing in cash flow for the label, Diddy lost interest in him and started to let him fizzle out. Black Rob was no stranger to speaking out loud to the media and the public in regards to his dislike of how the label was treating him, and he strongly felt that he was not being properly compensated by Diddy. And he passed away on April 17th, 2021, due to the multiple health issues, including his kidney failure. There you have it. Like, Black Rob was not holding back. Yeah, they did him dirty. I don't have words. It's really something else when you know exactly what people are going through, or in general, you don't need to know. It's their privacy, what's going on in their like health, in with their health. It's their business, it's their privacy, it's not your business. To cut him off from his health care, knowing that he needs it, I'm sure he at least expressed that he needs it. Like, that's just some other kind of low, and like really, really low. Like, if you don't want him there, break his contract and let him go. Be a fucking professional. Be a professional. Instead, you just keep him around and you play with him like he's a toy, and you start jeopardizing his life and trying to hurt him by taking away his health and medication that he heavily depends on. And Black Rob has confirmed and stated, if not, sources that have interviewed him have confirmed that when he was let go by the label, he had to go back to his old ways and go back to the streets and do illegal activities in order to provide for himself and his family. Diddy's over here just living lavish life, having green, having all the money in the world because he cheats people out of their efforts and out of their work. He's a cheap shot. So in 1999, there was a shooting at Club New York. It's a club called Club New York in New York. And some of you may have recalled this situation when it happened back in 1999. For those of you that don't know, and just to refresh everyone's memory, a shooting took place at that club, and Diddy and Jennifer Lopez happened to be present. The two were dating, and they were the hot topic on all social media platforms across the world. A lot of people and or platforms have stated in the media that they believe the situation was the main reason for their breakup. Diddy and Jennifer Lopez also never ever speak about this situation. Like, if they do, it's very bland commentary. I don't know, I kind of get the sense that they're like scared to touch base on it, and like they don't talk about it at all. The rundown of the situation is that Diddy bumped into someone who started beef with him. Shine, the rapper, he was there, and he shot back. He injured a couple clubbers in the process of doing so. A whole shootout breaks out, and Jennifer Lopez and Diddy successfully evacuate the club, get into their car, and drive off. The only reason they ended up getting caught was because the driver ended up running a red light. They got pulled over, and the cops happened to discover a vehicle or a gun in the vehicle. And when there was a moment of privacy, between the cop leaving and going to run plate numbers and whatever, Diddy had tried to bribe the driver to take the firearm and claim it was his, and basically bribe him to take the blame for the situation. Not the shooting necessarily, but keeping the firearm on him, since Diddy had an unregistered firearm on him. Like, it was registered to him, but he was not registered to be carrying it, obviously. The driver declined and actually testified against him in this court trial, like in this lawsuit, like blew him out of the water. And it was specifically $50,000 that Diddy had offered this driver when attempting to bribe him. I want you to keep that number in mind because it's going to come up later on. So after that, shortly after, like, the lawsuit was processed and everything came to an end, Jennifer Lopez and Diddy separated. They split, broke up. Approximately like 2 years later, Jennifer Lopez would go on to sue Diddy and his label, Bad Boy Records, for improper compensation again, and for a performance issue. I'm not really sure what that meant. There's not really many details covering this, but it is documented that there was a lawsuit from Jennifer Lopez to the record label in 2001, 2 years after the shooting at Club New York. Another thing too is like Club New York, Jennifer Lopez was reported to be handcuffed to a pole and that she was there for 14 hours, and she was just, they said that she was like just crying, like she was just hysterically crying. Personally, that was just a wake up call for her. I think she realized how, like, what kind of person Diddy was. I think in the moment of, like, his rage or whatever happened, she probably saw his true colors and was like, no, thank you. We're not doing this. Because Jennifer Lopez has been under fire for the past maybe year or two on social media. Like, I've seen TikToks of people talking about their personal encounters with her and how she's just like an awful human being. Like, she's extremely rude. I've not had any experiences with her personally, but like these are different accounts, different individuals speaking on it. And I kind of wonder if they both met their match in each other. I kind of wonder if she's just as narcissistically involved with herself as he is, that there was no overshadowing. But she, I think that night was like, you know what? I am not going to be with someone who's just going to like heighten my chances of being shot in a random ass club. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go out to have fun and have a good time with your boyfriend, not worry about facing death because he bumped into somebody and that person got pissed off and then decided to pull a fucking gun, you know? That's kind of where I feel like she's coming from. But I also feel like the power dynamic there was met. He doesn't just have that one lawsuit. That would just be like the first one. And it just kind of correlated with their falling out after the shooting at Club New York. After that, he has several lawsuits against him in regards to sexual assault. He's being sued by a former employee who was wrongfully terminated after being sexually assaulted by him. There has been a lawsuit filed against him by Lil Rod. He's a music producer who helped him work on his album Love. Lil Rod is actively filing a lawsuit against him for sexual assault. And there's a lot of accusations against Diddy in regards to some of the male artists being like boy toys for him, like being, I don't know how to word that properly. It rhymes with schmanel. I mean, there's this footage of him and Meek Mill like circling the internet of them possibly having sexual intercourse in Diddy's room.
So ever since the news broke about allegations between a sexual relationship with Puff, Sean Combs, and Meek Mills, I don't know Meek Mill's real name, but if this is to be true, man, it sound like this nigga. But if it's true, bro, your career's done, son. And all we ask is for you to just stop being a tough guy. We already know you can't fight. Now, the next question is, I need to speak to your boss. You know, the $500 million man that's acting like he's the biggest hustler, grinder, he got all the money. I need to know if he was bending over too. Because you look kind of suspect too, bro. Is that why you guys got to keep wearing glasses to hide your face, man? Listen, nah, ain't no daps. This is all allegedly, though. But for some apparent reason, it seems like everything is coming to light, man. Damn, son. Yeah, hip-hop is done.
It was his security guard who recorded it. He explains that he started recording for Diddy's safety and his, because at first it sounded like two grown men fighting in a room and like grunting. As he got closer, it was very apparent that these were sexual groans coming from the bedroom, and he basically records the commentary coming from the bedroom while this is happening. And he does confirm he hears the grunts of and the moans of Diddy coming from the bedroom. It sounded like his boss to him. Then there's this clip.
Hey, what's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
People are claiming that the position he's making in this pool here may be sore from Pound Town. I don't know what to think about these accusations. I am taking them very lightly and not in defense of Diddy. Fuck him. It's more so in the fact that it's easy to fabricate two grown men on an audio recording moaning in a bedroom. I am not saying I want to see that, but unless we had some definitive proof, I'm going to take it lightly. But please let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, or if you have any further findings in regards to the situation confirming this might be real. I would be interested in looking into that. There's also this whole thing going around recently, actually, that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck divorced because the FBI confiscated tapes from Diddy's houses in Miami and in Los Angeles, footage of Jennifer Lopez having sexual intercourse with Diddy, like being recorded. And apparently, the FBI shared this with Ben Affleck, and he saw this, and this is the reason why he's divorcing Jennifer Lopez. That's another hard thing for me to believe. Even I think it Shine? Yeah, Sid Knight, the former rap artist and now convicted felon who is serving time in jail, claims that JLo and Ben Affleck divorced because of tapes that the FBI confiscated. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. I'm so sorry. But he goes on and on about how, yeah, the FBI showed him this and now he knows, and things that Jennifer doesn't want to be seen are coming out, and that she may have suspected but didn't know if there was recordings because Diddy recorded everything. Like, he literally came out with reality TV shows and had everything recorded. Everything recorded. And I just can't help but think, like, and you guys let me know your thoughts, because it's not like I have anybody I can go to directly with this. My safe assumption is that the FBI does not have the ability or the right. In fact, I feel like they could face consequences if they were to confiscate evidence from a sex trafficking case and and go to a man and be like, "Hey, yeah, I know you're the husband of the woman in this footage. I want to show you what we found." I don't think that's appropriate, because even though it's footage of her, they shouldn't be going to, like, other people and showing that, even if it's the husband. And not only that, I think if anybody were to be notified, it should be Jennifer Lopez, because she's on the recordings. And who knows, I mean, I wouldn't put it past Diddy if he wasn't being like, "Hey, by the way, just a heads up, I'm going to record us. I hope that's okay." The motherfucker has sexual assault cases against him. Do you really think he was going to ask for consent on recording you? Okay. Like, I just find that really hard to believe. And I just feel like even though they're celebrities, that shouldn't excuse them and give exceptional circumstances. That shit should be kept safe and locked away, because who knows what they'll do to the tapes if they don't want that to get out about J-Lo and blah blah. Like, people really need to stop. And I get it. Like, there's some embarrassment, I'm sure, behind that. Like, I can't say I've been there. I can only imagine what emotions you kind of go through when you freak about having someone having, like, kind of like, I guess, or like, sorry, corn revenge. You know what I'm saying? Like, on a tape locked away, and you don't know what they're going to do with it. So I understand, but this Diddy needs to be held accountable, and he needs to be put away. Those tapes could possibly prove that he's sick, that he, probably did it to other people. And who knows? Who knows what he has on those tapes, bro? But at this point in time, I can tell you that the FBI did find enough to concern them that he may be in relation to what they've been investigating, and so he will be continued to be investigated and investigated further. Like, the jig's not up. He's not scot free. He's not out of it. They're going to continue to proceed investigating him and his premises in Miami and Los Angeles. Like, it's a real fucking thing that's going on right now. Anyways, I will see you in part 2. Thank you guys so much for joining me and sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.